What's up, CCT? It's your man, Joe Blackburn. Hey, it's been a minute. Coming at you live today. We're going to be doing a small AMA with the big man himself, Jason Davis from Hoard. Not only has Jason already been live on CCT before, he has been a member and a significant contributor to CCT for some time. So proud of what they're doing at the moment and the project that that him and his team have created. I remember back in November of last year, about a year ago, is when he first finally, told me what he was going to create. And so, knowing and being part of what Jason has been able to accomplish just in his, not just his personal growth, but his professional development in crypto has just been, a wonderful sight to see. But I see that Jason is on now, so I'm going to talk about him real quick, a little bit more. But let me tell you a couple things about Jason before we get going, and let the viewers start getting on. But Jason has become more than just a friend to me. This is somebody who I have been able to get his opinion on if I think something's either right or wrong, or if I don't know, I go to him to get that safety net at times. I mean, he's just somebody who I trust so much, and because of that, I mean, I'm happy to bring him on and to talk about Hoard, but more importantly, I'm happy to have him as a member of CCT and what he's able to contribute, regardless of projects, But to have him do something cool for the crypto community to make this even easier for people, I really want his project to get some attention. And there's also, not to mention the fact that he's significantly brilliant when it comes to crypto itself. The guy can do anything, in my opinion, and I'm proud to be his friend. All right, so that being said, I'm about to bring him on. But look, everybody, feel free to ask questions today. We really want this is something he wants to address. I mean, like, if there's any concerns, or if anybody's got something cool that they want to talk about, or even a compliment or some praise, drop your comments. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on right now, Jason. Let's see, make sure his internet works. I know he's a North Carolina boy. I don't even know if they have internet over there. Do they, Jason? Uh-oh. I got a loud noise. Everybody hear that? Hey, unplug your headphones real quick. Yeah, you're gonna.
How about that?
I don't know if, yeah, much better. There was a squealing. I don't know if everybody else heard that. Was it just my phone or what? Audience, can y'all let me know? Yeah, I think that there was a. Anyway, you're not squealing anymore, so it's good to go. What's up, Jason? I can.
Hey, dude. All right, good. As long as you can hear me good.
Yeah, actually, perfect. I hope you liked your introduction, man. I'll try to give you some props and show you some love.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I really do.
I've actually been a little under the weather myself. I've been a little bit sick over the last couple of days, but flu season, I guess.
I have too, man. Those kids, dude, they go out in the world, they put things in their mouth, they come home and just give it to you.
Yeah, that's exactly the truth. They come back from daycare or from school, and you get everything else. And of course, the kids are immune to it by now because their immune system's all built up. But I'm not, and I get sick. Anyways, well, let's give a shout out to everybody in the audience. What's up, everybody? What's up, CCT? This is Jason Davis. He's the CEO and founder of Hoard. Go ahead and introduce yourself for those who may not know you, Jason. I think most people here will, but glad to have you on, especially for a midday live, man. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, man. Well, having it in the middle of the workday is kind of nice. It's definitely a breakup from my daily grind. But as Joe said, and for anyone who doesn't know, my name is Jason Davis. I am the CEO and co-founder of Hoard, and I'm excited to be on the call with you today, man. Absolutely.
Well, today, I mean, we want to encourage comments because I'm on my phone. I don't know if you have your computer up. It's a little harder for me to keep up with the comments. So feel free to interrupt, or while we're talking, if you want to stop to address a certain questions asked by the audience, Jason, please, by all means. But for the audience, look, anything you guys got today, I mean, he wants to pick them apart, man. I'm encouraging it.
Hey, and just so everyone knows, this is the Baz edition Bitcoin hat, which you can get from Baz. He charges, yeah, it's a scam hat, but it's if you need one, just hit up Baz.
Yeah,
or Mike, the Bitcoin hat guy.
Bitcoin hat guy. The Lemon Life. Hashtag Lemon Life.
Hashtag Lemon Life.
Got to give him that love, man. What's up, Baz? He's watching right now. But the Baz edition is a classic, man. It's going to be worth something one day.
It is. That's why I've left the sticker on it in case I need to resell it one day.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right, so let's kind of get down to it. Let's introduce the project real quick. Tell us a little bit about what it is before we get started for anybody who may or may not, have a full understanding of what you guys are trying to accomplish at the moment.
Okay, cool. So for those that don't know about Hoard, and I know a lot of you do, but for those that don't, first and foremost, we're a digital wallet. And I say digital wallet because we're not just a cryptocurrency wallet. We're a wallet that will hold and help you manage your cash as well. So fiat currencies, as well as cryptocurrencies. And in the future, tokenized assets. I don't know if we're going to build a secondary app for that based on regulatory concerns. We don't know yet, but those tokens that you can manage for assets, IP ownership, and things like that. So it's a all-in-one wallet that allows you to store, track, transact with anyone in the world privately and instantly from your mobile device. So that's the mobile app side of it. Behind or underpinning Hoard is very technical. But the benefit that we can talk about with Hoard that's most understandable is that you can move your assets across any blockchain or across any other assets in 1 second. So if you want to send Bitcoin to someone, you can do so in 1 second. And it's not a centralized ledger; it's still decentralized. You still retain custody. You can trade and keep your coins in your custody. So one of the biggest benefits with Hoard is maintaining custody of your assets. So you can trade whatever coins you hold and you'll be able to keep them out of exchange wallets. And so the idea of insolvency or getting hacked is kind of a thing of the past with us, right? That you can't hack the Hoard system as an exchange and steal anyone's funds because they all live on the blockchain and everyone has access to them through the mobile wallet. So you can hold your assets. You can do peer-to-peer transactions with your assets. You can do that with cash money. And then eventually you'll be able to convert your cash into cryptocurrencies. So it's one of the things we're working on is that fiat gateway, a robo-investor where it simplifies your investing so you can invest in multiple assets with one transaction that actually happens in the background automatically. You don't even have to go click buttons and buy all 10 at one time. And you don't even have to click one. You just set the rule up and it will invest for you. And again, you retain custody of those assets, so they're always in your possession. And so we like to say we're not a bank, but we're reinventing banking. We're a banking alternative.
Yeah, and coming from an ex-banker like yourself, someone who understands that industry a lot, I think you're a really good representative of what people need, what makes sense, and where the holes are that need to be filled to attract that traditional investor to bring more people in on that level. And that's what's one of the things that's always impressed me about you, Jason, is that you're able to connect that outside idea and that the outside, even perception of what crypto might be to someone because you have experience with those people. And, with the moms and the dads of the world, the grandmas and grandpas who, they hear Bitcoin, they're probably like, what, right? So, to simplify this into the sense of filling a hole and giving and still sticking and maintaining that original idea of what crypto and Bitcoin were supposed to be. I mean, I guess that's an easy way to say it, huh?
Yeah, so we do like to stick true to the nature of decentralization, censorship resistance, peer-to-peer transactions. But like mentioned before, Bitcoin does provide the notion of being your own bank, but it does not provide a lot of the tools necessary to do so effectively like banking customers are used to. So, we feel like we want to build something simple enough for banking customers, not cypherpunks. So while cypherpunks have done an amazing job engineering some of the most amazing tools that we use today and that are being developed now, they may be simple for them to use. They're not simple for the masses to use. And so really what Hoard is trying to do is bring real world application into this space. And in order to do so, you have to be able to transact instantly, just like you do with fintech apps. Like take Venmo, for example. If I can send you $20, it does it instantly. So with our wallet, the same thing. If you want to be able to send $20 to someone, it should be instant. But the same thing with cryptocurrencies, not dealing with block times. The expectation, if you send something to someone, they should get it. And people call up and say, "Hey man, I sent you Bitcoin like 20 minutes ago. Did you get it?" And while it's being mined, you can look at confirmations, you can get technical. The majority of the world is not going to do that, right? So you need to be able to send that stuff instantly. There's a saying we like to say in house that mass adoption comes when no one knows they're using blockchain.
Absolutely.
Mass adoption comes, they don't even know half the time they're using crypto. And if you want the world to adapt to this technology, an individual user must be able to adopt it. And that's like center to our mission, is getting people to be able to adopt these things just out of the gate, without any friction, without any steep learning curves, without any issues, right? And it just works like, we want to treat crypto like it's money. And if you don't build a system where you can transact, transfer, and you can treat crypto and like it's money, no one's ever going to treat it like it's money. So we're trying to make this platform where value, the value that you hold, is as fungible as a cash dollar bill in your hand if you hand it to someone, in person.
Absolutely.
But this is all done digitally.
Yeah, well, Zachary, I don't know if he's still watching or not, but Zachary Dash actually put a pretty good question on. It was actually one that I was going to ask you, although I know part of the answer to this. It's still one that I think that the community is going to really appreciate and be able to understand a little bit more. But Zach's question is, quote, sending Bitcoin in 1 second seems pretty revolutionary. Is this done off chain? Question mark. Can you explain the process behind this? And, so I was going to say something very similar, but my question, although it means basically the same thing, is, no one's really been able to create this yet, right? And it's really ambitious on paper, at least. And although, I have a ton of faith in you, because I'm not only do I know you personally, I know how great of a person you are. And I mean that. So I know what you're doing is honest and real, right? So with that being said, go ahead and give us a little bit of the insight on that, if with what you're able to. I know obviously you can't tell us everything.
So to Zach's question, it is a second layer solution. So the SMILE network and this transaction protocol that we're building allows you to basically create state channels. It's similar to Lightning, but it's not signing transactions like Lightning. Again, this is where we can get technical, but this is off-chain transactions. So we basically create state channels, and you can move as much coin, excuse me, back and forth between people as you want in a second, split second, less than a second, right? And you can move volume within a second. And once that channel collapses, all of those transactions that were logged up now get settled on the blockchain. So you have this one that opens up, and then you get hundreds, millions, whatever transactions happen in each channel. So all these different channels can happen, and then once the channel collapses, it goes on chain. So that way, because you can't. First off, I want to clear up a misconception about Bitcoin. I think most people they equate Visa can do 40,000 transactions per second. That's fantastic, but you know what? It takes 3 days to get your money. How long does it take to get your money in Bitcoin? At most 45 minutes.
Sure.
So
without Lightning Network,
it
Lightning
settles
Network in
a whole lot faster than Visa does. A whole lot faster.
Yep.
So the fact that Bitcoin can't scale is a lie, first off, but
Absolutely.
the amount of transactions that are going to happen. So layer twos or second layer solutions, I feel like, are the future, right? Now, other chains like Komodo, they could do 800,000 on chain is awesome. And looking into Hashgraph and all the cool things they can do is awesome. But what we're trying to do is build interoperability of all assets across all blockchains as well. So we're building this on top of Ethereum right now. We may move. It may go to Stellar one day. It may end up at EOS. It may end up Komodo. I don't know right now, but we know the first test case that we're building is going to be built on the Ethereum blockchain. And it is the backbone for transactions to move at the speed of Wi-Fi, be transferable across any asset or any asset chain at the speed of Wi-Fi. And that's the primary purpose of the coin, really, right? The coin wraps the asset, sends it across chain through the network, and then boom, your Litecoin all of a sudden turned into Neo, which then turned into OMG, which then turned into Raven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about what Hoard is as a token, as a coin, is that the actual practical application is something that literally has to exist for this to work properly. And people tend to forget, in a crypto world that isn't so dissimilar to the tech world, where there's hundreds of thousands of startups a year, and how many of them actually succeed or are profitable for an extensive amount of time. It takes a long time for projects to be ready to go. Hoard's a little bit different. Obviously, you guys will be you have some time that you're gonna. I mean, it's not gonna be 100% on day one, but you have your product is going to exist, and it's going to exist relatively soon.
That's true. So Zach asked another question. He says he sees all the benefits, but what's the one thing that he does better? And his suggestions were transaction speed, user experience, team, and brand. And while I'm very biased about our team, I think our team and our culture, our company is amazing. Everyone just is kicked so much butt. Honestly, I'd have to say it really boils down to user experience. And that's kind of the forefront on what Hoard's built on, was engineering UX. That's my background in banking, was designing user experiences for financial customers that didn't suck. And while the banks may not be able to deliver all the cool things that you want to deliver, the experience was typically pretty good. So when I got into this space, I noticed that everything was heavily engineered and was wonderful, and what was happening behind the scenes or on the chain was amazing, but no one can use it. No one can use it. No one understands it. I literally had to give my parents a PowerPoint presentation on how to move their money from Coinbase to Binance. It took 30 minutes of me explaining it, and it shouldn't be like that, right? We're trying to build this new open financial world. It should be a hell of a lot better than the current one that we have, and it's far more complicated. So that's, I think, Zach, to answer your question, it kind of boils down to the UX, and that's where pedigree's in.
Absolutely. Adrian had a good question too. Zach, good questions, by the way, Mr. Dash. Adrian says there would still be overhead time delays for opening and funding the state channels. Yes? Question mark.
That's true. So in those instances, setting something up is going to be some time, but once they're up, they're running, right? So that's the difference. But also
explain that a little bit more too. Go into a little bit detail on that.
What's that?
Just kind of expand on that comment, what you just said.
So there's two ways that you can transact, all right? One of the ways is by collateralizing your own transactions. That's kind of like Smelt 1.0. So what Adrian's referring to is essentially Smelt 1.0 and the earliest version of this, where you have to collateralize your own transaction, which means you have to take the Hoard coin and you have to basically stake that in the channel. So if you took, 100,000 Hoard coin, they had a market value of X, then you're able to transact in that market value in that channel, right? And you can transact with any currency you want, right? And so you basically collateralize, and that's like an early version of Casper, if you will, as well. The second version of that is where masternodes come into play. So we didn't feel like it's going to be very efficient for markets, for people to participate in the market if they didn't understand how a state channel works, or they had to collateralize Hoard, and they couldn't do these things because they had to go out and buy Hoard. So then we added this other layer, which is our masternode system. And so you can rely on the benefit of the nodes doing all this heavy lifting for you. So that's Smelt 2.0, which will then minimize those delays officially for the average consumer. So they can just transact as a normal would by touching a button, and the masternodes are going to handle everything for them.
Absolutely. Okay, so we got our first poke at Hoard. All right, Michael Nordanas says, Hoard is the Chinese copy of Ethos. What I think he meant to say is that Hoard is copying the Chinese company Ethos. But please respond to that. And look, and I always say this, and of course you're very, very partial and biased towards your company, but we welcome people to ask questions of that. Please be respectful. I think that was kind of a kind of a mean way to say it, Michael, but no, nevertheless.
People can poke holes all they want. It's fine. The fact is, this isn't a zero-sum game. And if it were, then we'd all eat the same McDouble, we'd all drive the same Accord, we'd all shop at the same Walmart, and we'd all use the same, wear the same shoes and use the same phone and use the same computer. It's not a zero-sum game, though. The reason there are, 4,500 banks in the world is because it's a free market. So this gentleman specifically thinks that, Ethos is suing us. Funny enough, they tried to, and it didn't work. So they tried to cease and desist us, and I don't know what our lawyers did, but they shut that shit down real fast. So
sure.
We are open source, and we were released months before they were in the States. And that's just how it is, and I can't change the facts. So I support that project 100%.
Absolutely.
I hope they are very successful. I appreciate what they're doing for the space. Time and time again, I say this, and time again, my words get turned into something where I'm talking shit about that company specifically. I don't want to hijack this Hoard AMA about Ethos, so you guys are going to have to take that shit to another day. But I'm happy to say I support that company. I hope they do wonderful. This isn't a zero-sum game. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason, I know something about you. You're not scared to stand up with for this project because you know everything about it. And I've even heard similar things before too. And I'm just like, there's more than one way to make this wheel turn around. You know, I mean, it's okay, you know, and it's not a copy of ethos. It's just funny how people, they like to hold on to something like that. Anyways, okay, so on to the next topic. Let's go ahead and move forward on this. All right, Jason, what have been some of the biggest obstacles that you've seen in the way that you're specifically addressing with Hoard? And I know you kind of touched on those things, but let's talk about like literally like what are the like, if there's even bullet points that you have, what are the main things that need to be overcome for crypto, not just to be successful, but to be mainstream and to be used as PayPal or Venmo has been?
Cool. So, you know, as we've experienced setting up wallets can be complicated. If you ever go set up a MetaMask or especially a MyEther wallet, it's a confusing experience, right? And while they offer some great functionality, especially with dApp browsing and integrations with your ETH and moving your dApps, which is wonderful, that's one of the major things we're trying to do is that setup of the wallet experience. For one, putting in a mobile application, which, look, a year ago, there weren't that many, right? Sure. There are a lot coming to market now, which is great, but there weren't that many. So that was one of the things we're trying to solve for. We're even talking about right now suppressing the seed phrase experience completely. Like,
very
you're still
interesting.
The seed phrase,
yep.
But moving it, because right now we're running a 12 seed phrase. We're going to be moving to 24 once we support Monero. And, you know, that's a complicated experience in and of itself. So one of the ideas is like, hey, let's generate it. Let's suppress its experience and then throttle users' experience. If they want to transact over a certain amount, then they have to go back and do the seed phrase quiz to make sure. Something that no one else knows that we're about to announce or we're looking into is a hardware wallet that goes with Hoard specifically for your seed phrase. And we're probably going to partner with a Key on this. It's wow. In the air. So you just like you can get a free fob from PayPal. In this case, you can stake some coin. You'll get a free fob from us, and you'll be able to port your seed on that thing and then go take it and store it somewhere. So that if you ever lost, you know, your seed, your phone hit the toilet, whatever, you don't have to worry about it. We have you covered. There's a backup for you. It's hard and it's going to live outside of the device. So
that's amazing.
Again, another way to kind of secure and lock it down so no one else can get access to it.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, and that's an interesting concept. You know, that's something else that most people, I mean, they're not straying away from the seeds, you know, in that regards, because, you know, there's just been so accepted. But I know this, you know, I've got wallets somewhere with seeds that I have no clue where they went. So to even be combating that up front and anticipating potential problems for your user base, it's forward thinking. I love the way that you think on that, Jason. Okay. So
yeah, and here's another to your question about what we're doing to make it easier is we're allowing people to send money, cash or cryptocurrency, to anyone in the world. They don't have to have a crypto wallet. They don't even have to have the Hoard app. And you can do this through email, SMS, and as people have seen recently, you'll be able to send crypto via username. So if you haven't done yet, go grab your username, pre-register your username on the Hoard website. It's hoardinvest.com/register, and you can grab your at Joe Blackburn username right now.
You better chill out, man. You grabbed that for me, didn't you?
Yeah. So
okay.
The purpose was I mean, it's taken. If it's not, it's yours. We'll make sure you have it. But the purpose behind the whole email and cell phone thing is that much like Venmo, and Chris Mattern, who basically built Venmo as one of our advisors, helped us work through that experience, right, on the UX side of the fence, where you make this viral ability to grab new users into the platform by sending them money just like Venmo did. And it's a real simple way to receive it, right? So you get a text message from your friend like Katie, hey, Katie just sent you $100, or Katie just sent you $50 in Bitcoin. Click here to claim it, right? And so you say, all right, you click this link, you download it, you download the app, it automatically generates a wallet for you. The sender gets a push notification that says, hey, they've downloaded the app, click here to confirm the transaction. As soon as they click it, boom, it goes on chain, and the individual gets their funds. So it's a very viral way to send money and get users onto the platform as well.
No, Jason, let me go ahead and be not the first person, I'm sure other people, but let me just say, like, congratulations on that, man. It's a huge issue for people right now to be able to just convince people to use crypto, right? And I mean, like, I've got money, I'd love to be able to send one way or the next, you know. I'm always like, man, I wish y'all took Bitcoin. You know, this solves that, and it solves it almost immediately for people. And of course, I can't wait to see what you evolve that into and how quickly it catches on, because when you can actually send crypto to somebody who doesn't have a crypto wallet or has even ever heard of Bitcoin, that changes everything. It changes everything.
Yeah, they don't have to think about it. They don't have to figure it out. They don't have to do nothing. They download the app and they put in their details, and boom, they get their money's on the way. And that's another thing that we're trying to do that separates ourselves from many of the others, that makes it advantageous for people to get involved, and why people will adopt our product, right? Why would people use our wallet versus the 20 or 30 other that are out there? There's lots of reasons, but that's one of the biggest reasons, and we're helping people build our businesses too. There's another question: where did the Hoard brand come from? And it's based on the definition of the word hoard. And this isn't based on the verb of hoarding. It's a stock or store of money or valued objects, one that's typically secret or carefully guarded. And so it's your hoard, it's your stash, it's your bankroll, it's your money, right? And so if it's cash, it's crypto, it's tokenized assets, it's everything in one place, it's your hoard.
Absolutely.
Stash was taken, by the way, so we picked Hoard.
I like Hoard. I think it's a great name. And
using cash as C-A-C-H-E, people call it cache. They don't know how to pronounce it. They don't understand what it is. It has other whatever. People, picked on us for using hoard at the beginning because it had negative connotations. I'm like, look, I like to hoard crypto too, so I'll use it as a verb and a noun.
Sure.
But this is, that's how the brand came about.
Absolutely. All right. There's another question. When is the ICO over? It says on your website it ends October 15th, and it hasn't hit soft cap. It is more. I mean, I got to open this up. You may be able to read it better. Does the website need to be updated? How much longer will the sale continue? Blah, blah, blah. You can finish reading that. It's long, and I only got this much room on my screen, y'all. So forgive me.
No, it's all good. I got it on the big screen. So the ICO is tentatively ending November 9th with the coin distribution on November 10th. So no lockups. Again, it's not for U.S. buyers, but I won't say a lot, but there's other ways around that. I'm not one of them. So, but it ends the 9th. And the sale's going well. We are doing a big presentation in World CryptoCon. So we're taking about 50 million coins with us to World CryptoCon to sell. There are some buyers out there that are interested. And then we have a big marketing push that's about to happen next week with some partnerships. So we're looking into partnerships potentially with Hyperquant and Mount Peleron. So basically attach our wallet to the Swiss bank of crypto, which is Mount P. And then Hyperquant, which will help us do all the automation and AI stuff, kind of the speed to market.
Awesome.
So we're just in talks, so it's not in lockdown yet, but those announcements should follow into some buyer groups as well. So it's been kind of slow going. I mean, I got to be honest and completely transparent. The ICO market is freaking savage right now. Absolutely savage.
Yes.
And I mean, we are delivering a great product with a real use case and real utility, and we're working really hard on delivering a product before we even sold one thing. And if we notice, this is the worst performing month in ICO in over a year.
Yep.
So it has been brutal. So we don't pay to play much. So all these people want us to pay money and build hype and create FOMO. We'd rather do that with actually results and actually deliver things, as opposed to doing that through a bunch of fake marketing. So we just chose not to do a bunch of fake marketing. We chose to build. We chose to build, as Dan Emmons would say. We chose to deliver results. We chose to make strategic partnerships and see where those things got us. And whatever's not sold will burn. So
absolutely. All right. And good points there. And one of the things I like is, Jason, you already know how I feel about that, is pay for play, whatever. People don't realize, when you do that, you kind of soak in everybody who's interested in that coin early on, but you get the wrong type of investor. And for what you have, you build a really solid foundation on the type of people that are investing into your product. And it reminds me of some of my other friends who've done things the right way. And again, I can't compliment you enough on that. Next question, though, is from Michael Mahler or Mailer. I'm sorry, Mike.
Mickey.
Yep. Jason, how can DEX protect proof of work coins against 51% tax or attacks? Thank you.
How can what now? What did you say?
DEX.
Mickey? No, what's the question?
How can DEX protect proof of work coins against a 51% attack?
Well, they can't. That's all on chain. So if somebody wants to attack like a low hash, small POW coin, It may cost them some capital to do so, but it can't stop them from doing it. So that's
Sure, and
that's
also,
attacking the blockchain. Not attacking they're not attacking a DEX. They're attacking a chain.
that was the point I was going to make. Is that's an individual coin issue and their own developers. That's not a Hoard issue on that side of things. So I hope that answers your question, Mickey.
You mean how the DEX can protect the coins of an attack of a chain? Mickey, you're gonna have to ask that again, man.
All right. So Zach asked another question. You mentioned, I think, future security tokens might need a separate application to fit regulations. What is the biggest obstacle you just haven't figured out a solution for yet? Good question, Zach.
You asked a question like this not too long ago. The biggest obstacle is time and capital.
Sure.
So, but when it comes to specifically the security tokens things, I'm not really sure what it's going to be just yet. So I don't think anybody in the industry is. What I do notice is there's not a single wallet called a securities wallet out there that exists. And I would hope that Hoard may not be the first, but one of the first that's going to provide the solution for self-custody of your tokenized assets, whatever that asset is, ownership, IP, real estate, it doesn't matter. But we want to be a wallet that holds that, because we feel like, look, man, I take the idea or the notion back to the 1500s or 1200s when you trade 4 chickens for a goat for a cow for whatever. I believe that the value that lives in the blockchain has value. And it doesn't matter if it's $1, it doesn't matter if it's a Bitcoin, it doesn't matter if it's Apple stock, it doesn't matter if it's some securities token for some, Matrix AI stoplight thing going to the moon. It doesn't matter. It's value. And if we should have a free market, an open financial world where that value can be exchanged at all times.
I think that's a good answer. Gabe Known says, I do compliance and STOs as well as cybersecurity and technical due diligence. If Hoard is interested in raising in the USA. Interesting, Gabe. Might be someone to take note of. I don't know of his experience level, but hopefully he's telling the truth. Brendan says, I definitely appreciate how grounded you are, Jason Davis, in your approach. You come off as a no bullshit kind of guy. I agree with that, Brendan. I'd say the same thing about Brendan. That's probably why he likes you. All right, Jason, let me ask you this now, man. Okay, so given, horrible ICO market, given horrible bear market for the last 10 months, why are you crazy enough to do this project, man?
That's a good question. Well, at first, I want to let people know that we were trying to be as responsible as possible in not launching ICO on a parabolic bull run or the huge correction that was incoming behind. Sure. So just so you know, the sell was moved towards this time frame to hopefully hit the bottom.
Yep.
And it wasn't a guarantee. It's a gamble, but I think it's worked out so far, right?
It has.
The problem is most people only buy when they're feeling FOMO. They're freaking out. And you know what? That's why most people buy high and sell low. It's because they're fear of missing out. They got to get in now. They don't buy early enough, right? I can see, friends like Rev and others that will post calls on coins and like, dude, here's the perfect time to get in. Not every call is going to work out. But here's a great time to get in. No one does it, and then they're all kicking themselves in the ass 3 months later because they're like, oh, I just missed out on 500x gains. Well, here's another reason why we're trying to hit the bottom. So, why are we crazy enough? Because I think it's the future of the world, man. I think this is where the world is going. I personally believe that you will not be holding cash dollar bills in your pocket much longer. It will be completely digital, right? Now, fiat will exist. The government, the Fed debt note will still exist. In what form will it exist? I don't know, but that's the purpose behind what we're doing, is to support this new world, this brave new world that's coming into play.
Sure, and I agree with that, and I can also attest and vouch for you when you say that, because we first had our conversation over Thanksgiving last year, and you could have done this a lot sooner, and you had this discussion that you knew that this was going to hurt a lot of investors. And I mean, that will never go appreciated the way it should, Jason. And of course, your inner circle and people like myself, we know that. And as much as we'd love to brag on you for it, and this is why I stay such a stand-up guy and someone that not only do I trust, but I embody I try to be like you in certain ways and embody what you stand for, the same way that you would say that about me, and you'll never get enough credit for it. And obviously now, I've got a stage to be able to point that out. You said it, something I was trying to lead you into that question as it was, just so you could kind of, state your case there. But, never forget, people, and this goes, Jason, speaking to you, not as a question, but as a statement, is that I couldn't be more proud to know someone looking out for people the way that you have. And I don't want anybody to ever think that's not a big deal, because that's number one. It's number one in CCT. Number one with Hoard is customer service, customer support, but also supporting crypto for the right reasons, the right way, and representing it properly so that people aren't scared of it or people don't get the wrong impression of crypto. Because I'm sick and tired of having to answer to people that, oh, I heard Bitcoin crashed all the way down to 6,000 for 20. I'm like, yeah, but you left out like the last 9.5 years of everything else. Like, where you at, bro? Just relax a little bit. And it sucks to have to, constantly remind people because they're so short-sighted. And that goes for crypto people too. People forget really quickly.
We are fortunately and unfortunately in the world of damage control right now. And we're in the business of damage control in some capacity, right? And in order to do that, we're trying to build the best damn customer support team crypto's ever seen, right? That was one of the biggest things that bothered me years ago when I got in, is that you couldn't call somebody on the phone. And if you send them a ticket or a message, forget if it's ever being answered. And the big boys, forget it, man. Like, so I wanted, because customer support is a product. That is a product. You will go to a company if you get great service and great support more than you'll go to the company that has the best, steak or whatever, because the servers are all assholes or whatever and the service sucks. But when service is great, you're going to show up there. So it's just as much a product for us as the actual product, as the actual, application itself. So that is in part the being a business of damage control, is making sure that there's someone always there on the telephone, always there ready to answer a call, always there ready to take your concern seriously, your issue seriously, your needs seriously.
Absolutely. With an audience as large as CCT and really as active as CCT, even throughout this bear market, we're still got 70 to 80,000, active users per month, which is really impressive to me. It seems to be more between 10 and 18,000 regular users, which are being engaging with the group more than once a week, essentially. But with a group the size, the amount of people that could create great things for the space, if we all really teamed up and we all really put in the effort to make crypto better, rather than just wait till it gets done, we would be an army that could not be stopped. I mean, it's just so many great people in this group, and it's evident by support for just individuals, and it's evident by people who maintain a active role in the group, and and the moderator staff and the admins here on CCT do a great job representing those people. Nothing's perfect. No group's going to be perfect, and no project's going to be perfect, and everybody's going to have those things. And I know that your team has a lot of those same values, where it's not just Jason Davis, who's a great guy. It's like literally everybody on your team I look at and I'm like, I love that person. I love that person. They're great. They're great. And I know you're proud of your team. And if you want to give a moment to shout them all out, or just say hello to everybody. But, I think that they're well-deserved of that as well.
Well, speaking of, now that you said that, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Donnie Martins.
Yeah, funny he showed up.
And he just joined our chat. So,
I see it.
And everybody who thinks like, I can't quit my job or whatever, I got to commend Donnie. He has a full-time job and he works for us practically full-time and for peanuts right now. So for him to get in and all the others. So Amanda, Daniel, Tim, all part of the customer support team and do an amazing job. Eric and Zach, Andrew and Dan, our engineers, doing an amazing job. GP, myself, Samet, doing an amazing job on design. Brian, Jim, Mitchell helping on the business front as well. They're doing an amazing job. I mean, we have an incredible team.
Yes, you do.
Brandon, Ian, and Dustin in marketing doing a phenomenal job. So we have a very large team. And these guys and gals all put in the extra effort, and it's all for you guys, right? It's all for you guys to have the best possible experience out there.
Absolutely, and I second what you said. I mean, of course, you deal with them on a regular basis as far as your entire team, but I gotta second what you just said. Hey, good question by Brendan White. Is Hoard doing any conferences for the rest of the year, formally or informally, in Vegas, the Vegas conference, or what are you going to be doing there? Any formal event that you're going to be part of, or are you going to be speaking at all?
So we are doing something. I don't know if it's public or not. It's called the Allocation Room. It's a private deal at World CryptoCon, but it's mainly for this investors. So it's like hedge funds, family offices, syndicates that are coming into a room looking to buy Hoard coin, and there's like 10 other projects or 9 other projects with us. But officially conferences, we've talked about putting on a HoardCon and doing our own conference. It might not be until next year, but it's something that we'll definitely do to support all of folks that want to be a part of what we're doing. So it's something that we've talked about, but it's not something we've formally put together yet. There's another question in here. Is the raised capital a concern for the future of the project? How does the current ICO market impact Hoard as a project in the long run? That's a really good question. If the capital is not, enough capital is not raised via the ICO, we have to go raise more money elsewhere, which means we have to go hit VCs up and do, potentially a Series A round and raise a few $1 million. So if we're unsuccessful, so I believe we are, we've raised about 1.2, 1.3 million in the ICO so far. And we should be closing out another $1 million, $1.5 million of the ICO once it's done. So we're definitely going to reach our soft cap, and enough capital for 18 to 24-month runway. We also have to look at what the markets may do. They may change. They obviously hit a bull run and change things for us. However, it can, if you don't raise that capital, you have to shut down, or you have to return the funds and go raise money somewhere else. We considered doing a securities token offering next year to sell equity in the company, because we get so many people asking us for equity. We're like, this would be a great opportunity to raise more capital, like a Series A or further. But for right now, we're going to keep the token sale where it's at, distribute those utility tokens when the time is right, and we'll see what next year brings. I mean, the ideal situation, if we sold equity as tokens to the world, there would be an equity coin that would pay a dividend. Would there be a transference? I don't know. You'd probably have to buy the coin itself. You couldn't trade your Hoard for it. I don't know the legalities behind all of that, but that's something that we've talked about.
Of course, yeah. Hey, real quick, just a short shout out. I got to give some love to my boy Forrest. I know he's watching right now. He just got back from his honeymoon, Forrest Rollins, and I know him and Leslie had to have a great time in the Dominican Republic. But what's up, Forrest? Glad to have you home. Awesome wedding. Actually, I saw Donnie at that wedding, I know that they'll be wonderfully happy for the rest of their time, but Forrest, my man, I saw you join, so I had to say something. Hey, also, I know that you also, I have to give shout out to my man, Rostick, who I know that you are using his PR firm, Marzi PR. Right?
What's his name?
Oh, Rostick. That's his name.
I don't know.
Got him. What you think about that, Rostick?
We have Mazur PR doing our PR work for Hoard right now, and he's a good dude. So I love that guy.
Yeah, he is. And he's been doing
got a whole
great
team of people working for him.
Yes,
I don't know what he pays them, but he's got a whole team working for him.
Well, Rostick, you can never underestimate that guy. That dude has always got something up the sleeve. I mean, he's the reason why John McAfee came onto CCT. So, he loves his PR and he's good at it. And I've always told him, if I ever need an agent, he's the first person I'm going to call.
Yeah. So let's look at some more of the questions before we end this thing up. I did want to say before we got off, or answer these other questions, there are some cool things that are coming down the pipeline for Hoard. One of the things we're looking at is either a white label and or DApp integration or custom partner integration into the application. So specific coins that have specific needs that these companies don't want to go through the full-blown development to create this wallet and have them interoperable with other chains and other coins, but they have these custom needs. We can integrate their tools directly in the wallet itself on that specific coin page. So if you're holding and you have this unique tools or interactions that you have with these projects, you can do so directly through the app. And then we're also looking at potential white labels for companies that need these solutions, bolt-on wallets for mining operations and things like that. So we have a lot of commercialized aspect to it, outside of the whole merchant payments deal, where you can convert your crypto to cash at the time of sale without a debit card. But a lot of other commercial applications. What are some other questions? Here's one. Is there oh shoot, where'd it go? I just lost it. I can't keep up with it. Is there something about reversing transactions? The one that sits on the
I saw that. If you make a mistake, can you reverse the transaction?
No. Well, they're coming out with reversible ETH or something right now. I don't know who's building that right now, but One of the things we're trying to do is make sure that you send money to the right address, and you do so by sending it to people you know or contacts that you have via email, phone number, or username that you could do through the device, so you don't have to copy and paste. We're trying to remove the whole copy, paste, and QR scan to the background as much as possible. So you just send, grandma@gmail.com, and you send her, $100 of Bitcoin. It's going to go to grandma. It's not going to go to you don't have to copy and paste. You don't have to ask her to find an address and send it to you. You don't have to have her send your QR code. You just find her email address and you send her the money.
Yeah. All right. That's
cash or crypto. And we'd like to get the cash on chain. So the way the cash is going to work is the first step is going to be U.S. banked customers only for the cash. Phase 2 is international banked customers only. And I say only, I mean banked. They have to have a bank account. And then phase 3 is international unbanked. So we're going to be working towards the unbanked community as well with these virtual accounts, as well as the bank customers. But it's cool because how the payment tech works is that we reverse engineered how the card rails work, so that we can send money back and forth through a bank account to bank, or banks to different banks in 1 second, and not have to deal with any fees. It's free.
Yeah. Yep. Rostic asked on that same note, will there be an option to be able to send money to a cell phone number?
What's that?
Rostic asked if you're going to be able to send, like you can send money through an email address. Can you send it actually through a phone number?
Yeah. You can send it as a text message.
Awesome.
Just punch,
awesome.
And you can either link up your device contacts or not. That's up to you. And you can just punch in a phone number. I mean, you can punch in the wrong phone number, but so I guess you can make a mistake there, but you can just punch in an arbitrary phone number and send money to that phone number. If they have an account, it's going to go to that person. If they don't have an account, they're going to get a text message that says, "Hey, Joe Blackburn just sent you 50,000 in Bitcoin. Click here to redeem." And they'll click it. They'll get the app. They'll download it. They'll enter their details, and they'll redeem their 50K.
Although the analogy works, if you ever get a text message or a call from me saying that I'm going to send you 50K, this goes for anybody. It's a scam. Report them on Facebook and don't look back, because I'm going to be asking Jason for 50K. Let me get that 50K, Jason. But yes, thanks for putting me out there on blast like that. All right. Hey, look, you're going to kill me, but my phone is actually dying at the moment, so we'll have to wind this down. Nevertheless, Alex has a good question on this. Jason, can you speak to the timeline of the various master node types, the standard staking nodes versus the market maker nodes? And if possible, can you elaborate on how the market maker nodes will function and reward structures will work?
Awesome question. Thanks,
yeah.
Alex.
Great question,
There's
Alex.
A question directly below that as well from Ian. Is the Hoard vote still going on? Yes. So if you know of a project or want to see a project listed on the Hoard wallet first before anyone else, you can go to hoardinvest.com/vote and vote for that coin. You can vote for you can vote for any coin you want, just one vote per IP. But it's still going on. Coins to get listed are going to have to stake coins, but unlike Jack's wallet, it charges $125,000 to get listed. We're going to charge a few thousand in stake, and you get half of that stake back over a period of time. All right.
Hold on. By the way, Jason, that was hilarious. Joe not giving away Bitcoin Blackburn. I love it. Thank you. Anyway, keep going. That was the other Jason Barger.
All right. So, as far as the nodes, the question is, can you speak to the timeline of the various master node types? Yes, we have two types: order matchers and market makers. And standard staking nodes versus market making nodes, if possible, you can elaborate on how the market maker nodes will function, reward structure as well. So the reward structure basically right now pays out a 20% of the master node reserve pool, and it reduces 20% every year. So if we were to sell out of all of our tokens and that we have allocated for the token sale, the max supply would be 300 million for the entire supply of utility coins. The reserve pool, or for the master node pool, is about 13.3%, which would be roughly 40 million coins. And so the first year would pay out roughly 8 million to all the nodes, 8 million Hoard to all the nodes. And then it reduces 20% thereafter. So how the nodes work, like market makers obviously have to bring liquidity to a market, right? They are bringing reserves. So if you're familiar with Kyber Network and they have talked about how people can bring their reserves, But anyone that has a supply of coin or access to liquidity can be a market making node. It could be mining operations. It could be exchanges. It could be banks. It could be whales. It could be Bill Klein. It could be a number of things that could run a node. But that's essentially, how market they're going to bring liquidity to the table, right? And the purpose of them is also to link up all these DEXs in one pipeline. So like the Project Total, TOTLE, that's going to try to link all these exchanges. We're trying to do the same thing, but we're kind of like a decentralized exchange run completely off nodes, right? So that's the whole purpose of it. It's all based on nodes. The order matchers are the ones that are doing price quoting and order matching for the market makers for these transactions to take place. Order matchers actually earn block rewards. Those are the ones that get the part of that 20% reward each year. Market makers earn by fees. So they want to set a reserve pool of OMG, and they're going to be selling OMG to this pipeline and all the people trying to transact. Well, they set the fee for their reserve. Now, they are inherently matched or paired in kind of a game theory way to minimize their fees, right? Because they want the volume of transactions. They want to be able to sort of sell their coins. And so the application itself on the mobile app will do this job to get you the best rate possible from all of these order matchers market makers from ONG. That's what you're trying to buy. And so they're going to be competitive with their fees as well.
Sure. Good explanation too, by the way. All right, look, Jason, I got 2% battery right now, so I don't want this to just cut off.
We're going to go until your phone shuts off.
Well, it's very quick. It's going to happen very soon.
You need to dim it down.
No, it's already dim. I got it on low power mode. Listen, but I want to put this on YouTube, so I don't want it to just end like that. I want there to be a finalization of this, so on YouTube it looks good, right?
All right, let's wrap it up then. Thanks for charging your phone beforehand. I appreciate it.
I didn't realize I didn't. It was plugged in. I just had one of those chargers that occasionally.
So Brendan asked a question. Passwords are difficult to manage in SMS, 2FA, and secure. Have you ever seen a passwordless account solution like Trusona, more secure than passwords and easy to use? I have not, honestly. So we're using PIN codes and biometrics. We're not using SMF 2FA. That's ridiculous. You're right. It's very insecure. But that's the purpose is to lock it through PIN and then lock it through SMS. Sorry, I didn't say that. Lock it through PIN and biometrics.
Yep.
We've talked about things like social recovery and things like that to get around, but the passwordless is a very innovative thing. So we love the notion of it.
Sure. Hey, and there's another question. Justin Thibodeau, he says, with the seed words, can we retrieve our coin if Hoard wallet went down? Seed words are BIP 39, right?
Yeah. So if Hoard died tomorrow, your seed phrase is generated on chain. So that's a mnemonic seed phrase. You can go restore the Hoard wallet somewhere else, or you can restore whatever those assets are in another. You can go back if they're ERC20. Obviously, you can go back to Meta and pull them back. So one of the things we also like to talk about the fact that we're open source, and the DEX or the SNOUT network is censorship resistant. Is if Hoard, the company, died tomorrow, the app might die, but the whole DEX and backend would live on in perpetuity, and it would run. And it doesn't require any ownership. So,
hey, and I like it. Well, just to kind of finalize things, apparently they're going to start a GoFundMe for a phone charger. Alex asked you to send me some Hoard for a new phone charger. Your boy Mickey, he posted an interview for you. And no, guys, I have phone chargers. I just have one that likes to tell me that this accessory is not compatible with my iPhone for whatever reason. When I set it down,
Chinese knockoffs from the gas station.
Of course, I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah. I mean, those things don't work.
Well, if Apple wouldn't make their cords where they start fraying at the edge, because yes, I'm rough on my chargers and on my phone, sorry. That's the one thing Samsung does better. That's make chargers.
That's called, what is that called? That's how you stay in business, is making cheap cords that fall apart so you have to buy more. It's why the light bulb used to be permanent, and then they invented it so it would go out, so you have to buy more.
Sure, agreed. Yeah, I agree. Look, I get it, guys. My phone should be charged. I got 1% right now, and it's about to die. So how about this? Jason, we'll do it again. Look, I'm proud of you, man.
The next live that we're doing, whether Joe likes it or not, is that we're doing it from World CryptoCon in Vegas, probably November 1st or 2nd. That's the last live we're going to do during the sale.
Sure. Unfortunately for me, it looks like I may not be making Vegas after all, but we'll talk about that offline.
Hey, it doesn't matter. You can do it. You said, but we're doing live.
Yeah, that's fine.
In Vegas.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Until next time, Jason Davis from Hoard, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your answers. We appreciate the questions from the community. Give them some hearts and some likes on your screen. Show them some love. Show Hoard some love. Jason, I can't tell you again how proud I am of you, and I wish you nothing but the best. You know, you got a friend here at CCT and in me. You know.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much, dude.
All right, brother. All right, CCT. Until next time. Thank you much, Jason. We'll talk soon.